Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got new microphones here. I guess staff was saying it picks up everything, so even if you shuffle some papers, I guess so just speak directly into it, or if you're talking, don't do anything, I guess. So
don't tap it a lot.
All right, if we can have the roll call.
Giller,
Here.
Noonan, absent prior notice. Black,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Brush,
Here.
Fenlon,
Present.
Loudner, absent. McDonald,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Nixon,
Here.
Creepy.
Here.
Excellent. Great more. Next up, we have our agenda in front of us. Do we have any additions or deletions that are on the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as presented for our meeting this evening.
Second that motion.
All right, motion made by Mr. Nixon, supported by Mr. Fenlon to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Next up, we have conflict of interest. I will have to state that I will have to recuse myself from item number 1 under new business. Mr. Black here is going to run the meeting for that one agenda item. I had a vote on that at the township, so I will have to recuse myself from that. So, but I'm here for questions if you have them. So, anybody else with the conflict? All right. Next up, we have public comment.
Hello.
Have no public comments, staff comments.
We had our first tire and mattress collection on Friday. Jenny worked that. She got 871 tires and 67 mattresses. And then on Saturday was the first second HHW collection at Glen Lake School. We only had 211 participants. The rain most of the time.
Have they had tire collection yet?
That was our first one of the year. We've got another one in October.
October's another one. Thank you.
Questions for staff? All right. Next up, we have our meeting minutes. Hopefully everybody got a chance to review those. There are no corrections or additions. I'll take motion.
I actually did have, I think this is the appropriate time. I wasn't present at the meeting last month, unfortunately, but was reading over some of the things. I believe the training, like hours table, was under my understanding that the training we did in September counted towards that. But I also didn't respond to that email in such a way. But that was my understanding.
Do you have some training that you want added on there?
I was at that training in September with the gal from East Bay Township and her, I don't know if it was her associate from Michigan State University, I believe. I can find the names, but I think many of us were present at that meeting. But my understanding was that counts towards it, but I intend to do some further training. I just haven't. They always want to do them during harvest or medium. It's just not.
So good. Was that something? Is there something in the minutes though that you want to change,
or
what?
Well, yeah. So and I guess what it would be the annual report for me.
Oh, so
we can get to that.
Well,
That's my fault.
All right. Any other questions about the minutes? All right, if not, I'll do the motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Brush.
Second by Brown.
Second by Brown. Gotcha. A lot of names right here to remember. Any further discussion? All right, not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, next up, we are under old business, Leelanau Township Master Plan Review. As I think everybody got the email from staff that's stating, I guess, the previous master plan that was sent out was an older version. So, I guess they did apologize, so it's just back on here, the agenda here, if anybody has any other comments, or anything in that sense, I guess, regarding that, so. Mr. Fenlon, we'll start with you, if you had a chance to review it, or got any comments on it or anything?
I don't have any comments.
Okay, Black?
I had a couple, I had a little problem with 8 foot side back. It's under 3B, 8 foot side yard, maybe it's too late to even think of considering it, but I have a hard time believing 8 foot is sufficient in this day and age. I'd like to see a minimum of 10. So, they put 8 there, and next, in reading those minutes, I'm a little confused. It sounds to me like they have 5 homes in Leland currently in violation of their existing zoning ordinances, unless I'm mistaken. It sounds to me like the square footage of these 5 homes that got building permits to build beyond the current zoning laws. And if I'm wrong, correct me, but is that possible?
I guess I don't understand your question.
Well, the square footage per size of the lot, the way I was reading it, in their discussion within their own body, it sounded like there was an argument over the size of those homes violating their current laws. And I think I asked Gail the question. I think I may have came back and asked you if that was the case. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I'm not sure. But I guess even if it is, it's water over the dam if they've already built the house. And the zoning administrator, if he went ahead, or the building inspector went ahead and gave them a permit to go ahead and build. Does anyone else pick up on that, or just me?
Where was it?
Right, I think I know one of the properties, that's right as you come into Leland,
Yeah,
across the street from
Yes.
where Trish's Dishes is there.
Where in the master plan are you referring to?
and I regret that I left my master plan, the copy back at the
Oh, okay.
house, and I did, but I wasn't thinking I should have brought it with me. I should have highlighted it, underlined it and everything, but I didn't. And even if it is, like I say, it's water over the dam, it's a little late. If they've got the home built, I don't think they can go back and say, hey, you gotta tear the back half of the house off. I don't think that would happen. So,
Do you have a response?
but I do, the only thing I see here
That was
currently,
the
and
master
what we
plan.
got in front of
The
us,
other
is the
agenda
8 foot side yard.
Okay. What was that, Gail?
I think that was the other agenda item, that text amendment that we reviewed. I think it was the master plan.
Okay, it may very well been. I was reading through it and I highlighted it and brought it with me. I did not do so.
That was discussion between, the various people in Solon Township. Is
Yes,
that correct now? Because I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I think it was that type of a conversation. And it was with the audience, from the audience to the,
Like the correspondence that they
Yes.
sent along, that was at their meeting.
Yeah, that very well could have been.
I read it and I laid it down, well. I get it.
All right, Mr. Creek?
Yeah, I don't quite understand what the difference is with the new one. versus the old one.
Yeah.
Without going back word for word, but the parts that were missing seem to still be missing. And so, to me, they just ignored what we made a motion last time. I just don't understand.
Yes.
I would share Mr. Creedy's comments in a selfish way. I looked at their changes, alleged changes, with the eyes that I used to present my remarks, and none of my suggestions that I carried in the minutes were incorporated, and some of them were even typographical errors. So I do agree with Mr. Black, and I think I made that statement at the last meeting, that would prefer internal side yard setbacks to be greater than 8 foot, but I think what they may have been referring to was the 8 feet that are probably already in existence within the village. I'm hoping their consideration is anything that's newly built would have to conform to the larger setbacks, which they do share in the document. I think it was 10 feet. But overall, I was disappointed that they really, I don't think they prepared this well initially. And I don't think the follow-up was as legitimate as it could have been or should have been. And I would hope those remarks would be taken back to the Leelanau Planning Commission so that the next time we see a document from them, it's complete.
Mr. Noah?
Comment.
Ms. Rush?
Nothing additional than what I had stated last time, and I don't believe anything had changed since then.
No?
I'll focus on chapter 6, which is significant land use issues. We at least made an effort to incorporate discussion of character in those paragraphs. They talk about character of farmland and open space, residential and commercial uses, fish town. And we know that they had a pretty significant issue with the commercial building in town. I guess they could have spelled out a little bit better if they're going after character. That let's define it. In fact, they even mentioned that character means different things to different people. I think an attorney would like to see would like to use that in their master plan. But anyway, that's my only comment.
All right, Mr. Brown? Commissioner Lawler?
Nothing further.
I guess my remarks, I did go through a little bit, I saw on page 17, they did not correct what I had pointed out there, I did see all the other ones they did at least take the highlighted part out, so. But yeah, so I was still, I didn't think it was still, I still think it was a complete document, I guess, so, yeah.
I have the email that Tim Cypher sent me when he sent me that version. And I don't think they listened to the comments and made those changes yet. I mean, his email says, I have to apologize because we were in a hurry to get the master plan distribution done for Leelanau Township. You accidentally got an older draft version. I've attached the newest draft version. Note that the information in the last chapter is still not complete because we do not yet have all of the dates, but several of the other comments from the county PC have been addressed in this version. But I don't think they listened to the comments from that night specifically, and
But it does sound like he did incorporate a few though, is that what he said?
but I think but I think they were already in there.
Oh, okay, right,
They wouldn't have had time to make
Yeah.
changes and send me another version, but
alright, so I guess pretty much everybody had the same comments then, so we're dealing with the same document, in essence, I guess, so. Alright, anybody else have any other further comments on that, I guess, before we make the motion?
I was under the misconception that they had already fixed the 8-foot deal. That would have been my only comment, is that I think the fire code requires a minimum 10 foot for any kind of flammable structure. And so if someone had a fence or something like that, the eaves of your house would be within that. And I just don't see that as being a wise idea. That's like an international fire code. So those would be my only comments. My understanding was that they were fixing that, but maybe not. And maybe just it needs to be reiterated that it would be wise for them to make it 10 feet, not 8 feet in the future. Someone's already at 8 feet. I don't think you're gonna go have them there in their house at work, but anyone else from now on should be at that, is my opinion. So.
Okay. Any other comments? Alright,
Well, I'll make the same motion we made last week.
alright,
Send us a complete document and we'll be happy to judge it. You know, the last section there says this whole section has to be rewritten. So it's like giving them a blank check. Right? I don't quite understand, other than the fact that they've got a timeline that they want to meet. But that's not my problem. Right, that's their problem. Okay, so, same motion, send the, put it in advance and send the comments back. And, we'll send it back till we get a complete copy.
Okay, did you wanna?
That's a motion.
Way
too many words, but.
All right, so this, and based on the minutes from last week, there's a motion by Creaky, second by Nixon to recommend Leelanau Township make revisions for clarification, update missing data, and send it back to the county for review.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Exactly.
All right, so Mr. Creaky made that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? All right, none. In favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carried. All right, next up, we have the CIP draft. Give everybody a chance to review that. I'll let staff go through and kind of see, kind of highlight what was added, some changes and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. There's a
Questions?
little quick outline there of what
Oh, yeah.
names and dates, obviously. And I have a sense on page 8. Page 15 of 75. You remember last year?
Yeah.
But I thought we needed something in there, but I don't know, we can change the wording, but I reached out to Trudy, she said, yeah, put something in there. You guys figure out the wording. If you think this is the right place for it, or should go somewhere else.
Tom's pretty good with wording. What's your take on that, I guess?
I like that.
You like it?
Yeah, I think it's clear.
I think it's fine right there.
I think it makes sense right there.
On to page 18. Updated that 2025 through 2030. There. The other potential projects, you see those listed on page 20, and they're also shown again, page 22. Those were added last year. Prior county administrator wanted those in there, even though they weren't CIP items. They were added. If you look at page 22, two of them have been complete. The green ones, the broadband and the parking lot paving, that's gonna happen. I don't know if you guys want to leave these in there.
I think from my recollection from last year, it seemed like they wanted it in there just to simplify the process, I believe, my recollection at least the administrator and the commissioners, I think, wanted that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was a one-time from Urban Gallows. Yeah, okay. I would think that's been done. I was looking at, on page 22 of 75, the allocation to Habitat for Humanity housing projects. I believe that's been completed. There was a one-time ARPA dollar gift to Habitat. We just need to clarify that that's been already given out.
So not just committed, actually dispersed.
Yes, it should have been like in 22. Maybe 23, but should be completed.
It's not included.
Maybe 23.
In 23 or 23. Okay, so should have been completed in 23.
Was that on last year's CIP? Was that on the?
You want me to leave those in there and just color code that one?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Everyone's
we'll
okay with
change
that.
that one. Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
we'll have staff
Sure.
walk into that.
Which is always good.
There were two other, the HVAC, I took those out. 2008 and 29, HVAC system phase 2 and 3. I've been told the county is not moving forward on those. So I took those out.
No.
You guys are okay with that? And then just moving on, page 23 starts the new 2025 subtitles. There's a part behind those. And then just the policy, the MMRMA, the policy, property list reports, all those reports have been updated. Really, all.
Anybody have any questions?
I have a question about the HVAC being removed. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I'd just be curious if that's something that eventually needs to be done. Is there a place for that, or is that not appropriate to be in this document? Because it's like anything, you just can't just like not fix it. It's gonna eventually-
They're replacing the heat pumps as needed, that's their alternative.
Yeah, we decided to stick with the, presently when this was built with, what do we have, 94 heat pumps in this building. And when we were looking at the HVAC system, we were under the understanding that we wouldn't be able to get new heat pumps that would work with this building. So we were buying parts on eBay and scrapping them together to make the system work. So we were looking at an entire new system. And since then, we've discovered that we can replace the heat pumps. So that's the path we're going. So continue with the system, it's all plumbed, and continue to replace those as they go down. Being 10 a year, maybe, something like that.
And that's great. I mean, I would hope, they would be tackling it. I assume that they would, but, does it not belong in the CIP? Like projected expenses? I would think you'd still want it there.
Well, it sounds like they took a different avenue from what it sounds like, so there's no need for it to be in CIP.
So it's budgeted in another fashion then.
Right.
Yeah, the
Okay.
heat pumps are,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's my.
Now, but your point is very well taken, because in the future, it may come up again that, the heat pumps aren't keeping up, or it's not gonna work, and we were looking at actually a chilled beam system, and maybe in the future that will be the route they wanna go, but.
For now, it's tackled.
Yeah, I don't
That's
see
what
it
it's
in the near
not.
future at all.
Mr. Nixon?
Would it be appropriate to add on each of those 4 forms the priority that this committee has given that particular project?
Were you looking?
Any of those 4, would it be appropriate or inappropriate for us to add an item there that says what its priority is?
On the new 2025 submittals?
Correct.
Well, they're shown,
Are they showing on there? Correct?
they're on, they're right at page 21, they're right at the top there.
My eyes didn't work as well.
Yeah, you're.
Thank you.
I have
Thank
to
you.
remember.
Thank you. I knew you had a good answer.
Okay, yeah, I did see.
Any other questions for staff?
One change then, I mean, just a color code.
Yes.
The one, let's clarify, there's gotta be an answer. Guys, and Kathy, if you can research it, for you, see if that's been. Yeah, and then it would change to whatever. Yeah, to green.
And would have to be taken off the sheet.
Well, it wouldn't have to be
Just leave it
taken off, it would
there,
just be
yeah.
highlighted.
I
one
mean-
way or the other.
Yeah,
This sheet that you have right here. Page, which would be page 20, the
Okay,
priority level plan.
okay, because it would be completed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not, yeah.
Just that.
I guess from everybody here, it sounds like that's the main thing. Everybody good with everything else? Oh, okay, all right.
I do have a couple points. On page 9, I suspect you already caught that. yellow line of red words up, so they're in line with each other. And that alignment isn't quite right. And my old bugaboo, thanks to my old English teacher again on page 14. Many of those definitions, you can look at systematic replacement or operating efficiency, even coordination, are all using the same words to define it. And again, I'm defending Ms. Sherman's thunder and lightning speeches about don't define words by using the word itself. I think those would be my 2 remarks. I think this is, in addition to, I think this is a terrific document. When I recall the earlier versions of CIPs that this group did, there's just no comparison between this one and the earlier ones. As I suspect, as you've gone back, and if you hadn't, I would invite you to go back and look at some of those. This is a really thorough document, well thought through, well put together. And I would think the county board has got to appreciate this kind of order and simplicity and detail that allows them to make much better decisions than I suspect they were trying to make in the past. I commend the staff for your work in putting this document together. I think it's really an excellent document.
I would say Bill.
Anybody else? Any comments? No, you have anything to add? No. Anybody else? All right, so yeah,
Do you want me to make that correction, bring it back again, or do you want to?
would everybody be okay with making a motion to approve it with those corrections and the staff doesn't have to bring it back?
So moved. Support.
See that, but it is work that, it's not like Mr. McDonald made a motion to approve, the CIP draft. With support from Ms. Creepy. Any further discussion on that? All right, if not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. All right. That should be all set on that. Next up, we have our annual report. Staff, did you wanna add anything to that? I believe there was just one, did you add on the end there about Gail or Trudy? Is that the only thing, addition that you had added on there, or why? I think in the minutes that was.
I did go back and look, because I believe there was a question on the planning commission. Where is that? The planning commission, establishing a planning commission, remember?
Oh,
And
yeah,
you brought
yeah,
up-
yeah.
It was the resolution. I did find an answer for that.
So that wasn't incorrect then, I guess.
Twenty 2011 resolution.
Yeah. Okay. Ordinance to create a planning commission. Yeah, planning commission, so they had,
Different interests across the county.
come to a deviated from the original intent of the 1970 ordinance, and it is found conditions have changed as to the needs and best representation of the planning commission, and there is not time for a transition of membership over time. Therefore, to comply with the current statute and proposed ordinance, concurrent with adoption of the new Leelanau County Planning Commission ordinance. And then so the following memberships are appointed as follows, and then there's the categories, establish those. So the planning commission, establishing a new planning commission with categories, I believe. and so it was- read that way. And the training, if you guys want to tell us what training you want added to this. Response,
else have any training on there other than me and Mr. Brown?
Well, I completed my, what they call it, continued yet, the real estate broker's license. I continue to have that, but I have to take 6 hours every year, which I do that with the real estate one group. And I did take that, so I don't know if that counts.
Was that in 2023?
Yeah, I did it, yes, that was 2023.
So,
And I'll be doing it this October again.
okay, you said that was 6 hours.
6 hours, yes.
Anybody else have any?
Actually, thanks to Mr. Fenlon, I didn't add, that was 2 hours from that.
I
So I'm at
Just-
71.5.
foolishly assumed that it was because it was put on by kind of us, that it would be part of it. That was my mistake. I believe it was 2 hours that we had it, so you could tack that on for me, that would be great. Hopefully
Is
before
anybody
this
else at the
year.
fall session then?
Yeah,
Oh, that was-
whoever else was present.
I guess that was mine. I didn't incorporate that. in
I'll see,
mine.
so you got 20 hours.
Did you get Bob too?
I think essentially, yeah, pretty much work.
Anybody else have anything?
I can get you some, I've had some training now, so they qualify. Just do them.
And then I did add that information about Trudy.
No.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She's next.
Any other questions on the annual report? Mr. Nixon?
Just on page 2 of, under history, in the second paragraph, in the last line, you got an extra space. It's not a big deal. There's a little space in there. But if you're gonna be revising that page anyway, you might, I don't know if you're revising that page, I guess you're not revising that page.
Clean it up a little bit.
Oh, I see it.
Tighten it up a little bit.
Before enabling act.
Type it up. Yeah, just the space before enabling act.
Any other comments? All right. If not, I guess I'll take a motion. I guess staff has all the notes that we can edit that in there, so we'll just take a motion that. Yeah, I guess we include the annual report with the changes.
So move.
All right. The support. And Mr. Nixon, support with Mr. Walker to approve the annual report with changes. Any further discussion? All right, if not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, next up, we're under new business, Solon Township text amendment. I will recuse myself. I'll be here for questions, but Mr. Black, the floor is yours. So, I guess.
Thankfully, he'll stay here to answer questions. That's good. Gail, would you bring us up to speed on this?
Text amendment. This is the text amendment to run Solon Township that we received June 13th. The last day to review under the 30-day review period is July 30th. Solon Township draft master plan does not specifically address this amendment, neither does it leave it on general plan. Solon Township Planning Commission held a public hearing on April 2nd, at which time no public comments were received. After the public hearing was closed, they passed a motion to approve the language as published and forward on to the county for review. Down to section 4, analysis. Is the proposed text compatible with other language in the zoning ordinance? Yes. Are there any issues with the proposed text? No, we did not find any. Issues of greater than local concern? No, we didn't find any of those concerns. Comparison with county plans or ordinances. Do the contents in the proposed text amendment conflicts with the general plan? No, do not. Moving on to staff comments. I've shown you the current Article 22 planned unit development. Under section 22.03, number 1 reads density, maximum dwelling units per net acre to be based upon density designated in master plan on buildable land prior to rezoning. And this proposed amendment will amend this to read as follows: density, maximum dwelling units per net acre to be based upon the density listed in 1A below. The master plan cites the PUD location areas throughout the township. And the newly added 1A would read, the 2 designated areas on the north side of Solon Township are deemed by this ordinance to be 1/2 acre. The 2 PUD areas on the south side of Solon Township are designated 1 acre. And then I just pointed out that the zoning amendment that I received was showing at 27, Article 27, instead of 22. And then the first sentence in that 1A on the proposed amendment, there's an extra "the" in there. And then on final note, the township minutes indicate that the proposed amendment is for the purpose of removing density from the proposed future land use maps to create better clarity.
Thank you, Gail. First off, let's go down through, has anyone got any comments? Have you taken time to review this? Any comments? We'll start with Melinda at your end down there, please.
No, I guess I really don't have anything to question or remark on. I do like the fact that it's got accessory uses and structures in there under the PUDs.
Okay. Greg? You're not. Tom?
I would note, I have some general concerns about referring to the master plan for things like density and lot sizes, building heights, as opposed to having those in the zoning ordinance. I think it could create, could be issues of potential mistakes when you need to change 2 documents. I think to keep the master plan as a master plan and not blend them together.
Okay, then. Rodney? Yes.
Yeah, nothing further.
Okay. Robert?
I'm looking at item 8 on page 58. And I don't think it really says what they want. All utilities in the plan unit development shall be around it with and in its own 10-foot utility easement. 1, I think they mean 10-foot wide utility easement. 2, I don't think that each one would typically be, so we'd be saying water, electricity, gas, sanitary would then be, you got 4 utilities, you'd be 40-foot easement. And that's the way it reads. If you add the word wide, and if you don't add the word wide, I don't know what it means.
Can you address that at all, Steve? Would you be able to address what he just said?
It's in the minutes, yeah, it'll go to the planning commission. Then
Okay.
they can address it there.
And it
Yeah,
needs
no.
clarification.
Right, no, and this whole zoning ordinance was adopted, but we're just literally adding that one text amendment there, so I'll have to ask the zoning administrator if we can even go and change that, I guess, I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
Without a public hearing and going through that prior process.
It'd be a difficult thing to enforce the way it's written.
Tom?
No additions to the proposed language change.
Yes, you.
Okay,
Francis, I'm sorry, I apologize.
this is probably more of a personal clarification. I got a little confused the first time I read the density sentence.
Yeah.
Because when I read the exceptions on the next line, it says the minimum size is 10 acres. I would recommend that the paragraph 2A rather than 1A could fit better. I don't have any problem with the text or anything like that. It seems like this is okay with this small density and the next one's gotta be 10.
Yeah.
So it's an exception to the general rule. It's what we're doing, right? And maybe this is just a personal idiosyncrasy.
Brian?
I have no further comment.
The only thing I had is, again, the density, I questioned, I went and read it and reread it, was the half acre to the north side of town, and so
Yeah.
a full acre to the south side of town. I thought to myself, what's the difference? I mean, that's the question I'm wondering, why half acre on the north side of town and a full acre on the other side? It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I would think you'd have pretty much the same thing through your whole township. That's the only question I had. Aside from that, anyone else have any other additional comments? Okay, we could entertain a motion to accept it as with the comments, send it on, or however you wish to do it. Is there a motion to that effect? So moved. Is there a second? Okay, moved and supported that adding our comments from the group here, that we accept this as written with those comments added and send it back to the township board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Okay. So moved. All right, it's back to Steve.
All right. Next up, we have reports, Housing Action Committee, Commissioner Palmer.
I have nothing.
All right, Parks and Rec, Mr. Newman isn't here again, so Commissioner Palmer.
Really nothing more to add. I spoke briefly about the possibility of negotiating with neighbors to take over the little teeny triangle of parkland over towards Old Settlers picnic grounds. And that's where it's at, looking at the negotiations of that. Kids Fish Day is Sunday. Veronica Valley starts at 11. Hot dogs, chips, turtles and snakes. So,
What's the time?
it starts at 11 a.m. I think it was 11 to 4 perhaps. 11, it starts at 11 a.m. Yep, and everything's included, so bring all your littles, they've got little fishing poles and everything, little cups of worms and lots of things.
All right, any questions for Commissioner Palmer? All right, now we're on to communications.
I don't have anything.
Nothing. All right. No public comments, any staff comments, anyone to add?
I just want to mention, we need about topics for that fall session.
Oh, it's gonna come.
It's coming my way.
We're gonna move down. I did want to thank your staff, and I don't know who all worked that tire recycling event. Jenny was there graciously. I was trying to beat the rain with my mattress. I wanted to unload it, and she was very helpful. So I say every opportunity I get, I can't say enough about cleaning up this county with all the old tires.
Yes.
And how many to date? Thousands.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't figured that out. It's just, it's incredible. But yeah, how many again? 800?
867 tires. Yeah, 71 on Friday.
70. Yeah, that's fantastic. I know Red Traverse County is very jealous of that program that we have here. They're asking me how we get rid of our tires. Well, they have to move out here and pay their recycling annual fee, and they can take part.
Sure.
All right, Any other staff comments? Well, I guess we haven't done any comments already, so. All right, so, Mr. Brown, you have anything?
No, just moving ahead with our projects, they're coming along pretty good.
You've done a good job in fixing some of the roads, especially Galvin, so it's looking nice.
Thank you.
Is it ahead of schedule?
We got behind because of the weather, but it's gonna be opened up to the public this Friday.
Striped and everything.
Striped and everything. Had a couple washout issues today, so I did make some repairs on those.
Yeah.
But it's behind our gravel shoulders.
Mr. McDonald?
Just kudos to staff for, again, a lot of thoroughness and just carrying on Trudy's. Thank you.
Mr. Rush?
Nothing further.
Mr. Miller?
Okay.
Mr. Nixon?
Nothing.
Mr. Greavy?
Nothing.
Mr. Black?
I'm here.
Mr. Penland?
All set.
All right. I have nothing as well. Enjoy your guys' evening and adjourn.
I should turn this on.